Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Asyfiya Zakiyyatun and I'm from International Trade 2022. I'm here. I want a presentation about what major did I take at Widyatama University, and I take International Trade. So check it out. There is three discussion what I'm gonna bring that to you. First, definition of international trade. Two, international trade policies. And three, problems in international trade. First is definition of international trade. What is international trade? International trade is economic activity involving parties in other countries, starting from between countries to multinational companies and consisting of export and import activities. This business transaction involved many parties from individuals, governments, and companies. From international trade is general in the form of exports and imports. In international trade is divided into three types. 1. Namely bilateral international trade. 2. Regional international trade. 3. Multilateral international trade. Okay. 2. International trade policies. International trade policies have benefit as well as impact on the economic, social, and political aspects of the country. Export-import activities are enforced by companies or countries. Export can help increase income, while imports can help obtain goods or services that are not available domestically. In the implementation process, each country certainly has its own international trade policy. This policy must be implemented and complied with by various parties involved in trade. The policies in international trade there is two sectors. 1. Export sector. 2. Import sector. First, international trade policy in the export sector. The export policy turned out to be aimed at protecting domestic production and not just seeking profit. First is export ban. This one policy refers to export bans for certain goods abroad. The reasons include political, economic, social, and cultural conditions. 2. Free trade policy. Free trade policy is a condition in which each country government gives freedom in export and import activity. This freedom will bring some significant advantage such as relatively cheap price or higher quality goods. 3. Price discrimination. Indonesian export goods or export commodities are set at different price for each country. This is usually done according to the agreement. The second policy as international trade is the import sector. This import section is same as like export but the otherwise. Okay. In the case of imported goods, all the goods are produced overseas, so the goods do not come from our country. Like the export is the other country are receiving goods from Indonesian, and if imports, we receive the goods from the other countries. Okay, the first policy at import sector is import ban. This one policy will be carried out by the country if the country is required to save its foreign exchange, and not all goods are simply imported. 2 is tariff. Application of relatively high tariff for the imported of certain goods so that the competitiveness of domestically produced goods are increased. 3. Quota enforcement. Government set import quota for a certain period of time. Its aim is not to disrupt domestic production activities. However, if a country establishes a free trade policy, quota cannot be imposed. Okay? 4. It's subsidy. I have example for this one. We shopping something like clothes, t-shirt, or skirt, or trouser on online shopping that come from the other country, and we find that prices are more cheaper than the local good, right? And it's called subsidy. Okay, next we have fact. It's a dumping policy. Dumping is a policy where goods are exported and sold abroad at lower price to dominate the country market. Dumping politics can be interpreted as a policy of price discrimination and can kill foreign market where the products is sold cheaper. Okay, next to the last discussion is problems in international trade. There's many, but I just take 5 of it. The first problem is international economic and political politics. Every country must protect its commodity products so that they are not dominated by foreign products or the other countries. It's not uncommon for countries to impose import restriction policies or impose import tariff. The imposition of import tariff will indirectly hinder entrepreneurs from being sold domestically. Meanwhile, import tariff benefit domestic small business because the price of goods is cheaper than imported goods. It's called political dumping. Okay. Problem 2 is difference in currency value. Each country has a different currency with a different value, often exposing countries only want their products to be paid for in their country's currency. In this case, generally the two countries use their foreign currencies that are commonly used as international payment, like dollar or euros. It's common payment, right? The third problem is there is a major conflict in a country. Conflict refers to domestic political situations such as ethnic riots, wars, coups, and so many others. That security risks are not guaranteed and affect the process of buying and selling transaction is disturbed. The fourth problem is low quality of human resource. If a country is rich in natural product but doesn't have adequate human resource to process them, then the product produced will be of low value because it's meaning human resource to process them. And this will certainly have an impact on the selling price. Make the product difficult to compete with similar product by other countries that more good than it. The last problem is organization in a particular region. Trade is specialized or limited to member countries of the organization. That way, foreign countries that have good product quality cannot sell their product to these member countries and otherwise that cannot. Okay, maybe enough for me. Thank you very much for your nice attention, and I hope you understand with what I said before. Okay, maybe enough. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.